Good afternoon, YouTuber subscribers and friends and the like. It's Grant coming at you from the Northwest Medical Center in Bentonville, Arkansas. This is going to be video 2 for basically the next week coming up. I'm going to try to upload videos once a week, unless some kind of content that I think needs to be shown immediately would come up. Otherwise, I'm going to combine them. Especially now that I've found a video editing software that's available through the Samsung apps right here on my S7 phone. I did not know that existed. I went to go just see if there's a way to combine two video clips of two different videos together on the phone, so I don't have to put it on save it from my phone to the computer and then combine them all in the computer's editor. And here I found out that the phone itself has a video editor that's pretty dang good for the simple functions of putting video clips together, and you can put your transitions together in the simple kind of editing that I've been doing. I could edit right from my phone, which takes out the middleman. Supposedly I don't have to use the laptop anymore. That almost makes the laptop obsolete now, because that's about the only reason I was packing my laptop around was for that, or occasionally watching a movie on it. But now that I have my tablet, my 10-inch screen tablet that you all saw that was on the visor of the car, I watch TV with it clipped to the visor like that. My laptop's pretty much obsolete now that I found this video editing software. For my purposes anyway. But you can use, if you have a newer phone like an S6 or an S7 Android phone, I think my phone might have a Apple version of theirs, but available for an Android phone anyway. You can look in the Samsung apps, and there's a Samsung video editor, generic video editor that combines all your different videos. You can take different videos and then files, and it'll put them together for you. You just select which ones you want in the series, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, whatever, etc. And it'll combine it for you. And you can choose to move clips around in there and everything, just like you would do with an editor on the computer. That's handy to have. But getting back to where I'm at now at the Northwest Medical Center, taking my break here because, as you all know, it's got hospitals most of the time have high-speed wireless internet. For the Wi-Fi, they have their own network backed up with servers and so on, routers and etc., all that jazz. And so I tend to use hospitals a lot for that reason, because you can upload and download videos and whatever faster. This one has a guest network that is like pretty dang fast in terms of uploading or downloading anything that you want to do to fix your videos or whatever. So if you're passing through Bentonville, Arkansas, it's worth the stop at the hospital to do your uploading for your videos for YouTube, because they're pretty dang fast. It's probably the second or third fastest I've seen in the nation so far, traveling around anyway. But that's also because you can't view YouTube videos or Hulu or Netflix here. They have it locked out on the open guest network. They also have a registered network that you can, if you're a registered guest, you can get on, and I'm sure then you can watch your videos and whatnot. But to upload, it's nice to have that option. The other thing to point out is I'm at a van driller in Kansas, Lawrence, Kansas, the other night when I was shopping in Walmart, and he showed me, I don't have it with me right now, it's in the car, too lazy to walk over there and show you. One of these videos I'll show you, but there's a sun visor that you can get, for regular sun visor for your windshield, made from Dickie, the company Dickie that makes work outfits, hard work jackets and work jeans and stuff like that in Walmart. Right there in your regular sun visor or windshield covers in the automotive section of Walmart, there's a brand for Dickie right along with the Chevy and all the other stuff that's right there. And he showed me it's made out of a pretty thick material that's black on one side and Reflectix material on the other side, so you can have your choice. You can use Reflectix during the daytime when it's hot and reflect the sun back out, and then you can stealth camp with it at night, and you have the black materials already built in. And when you put it up against a already tinted window, you can't see it. It doesn't shine back like if you covered Reflectix with tape like I was doing with black duct tape. You can somewhat see the black duct tape, but with this material you pretty much can't when it's tinted. At night anyway. In the daytime you'll be able to see the black, just like anything, you'll be able to see through the tinted windows a little better and see the black. But for at night, it is awesome material, but it's $10 for each window cover. And so I would guess for my size car, and for some people that have a bigger van or whatever, if you have to cover all the windows that I've got to cover, like if you have a passenger van, it probably costs about $40 worth of material, because it's $10 a window cover. But it's well worth it. I'll have to show you in a different video at the moment. But it's basically black on one side and silver Reflectix on the other, and it's pretty much this thick, about an inch. thick. It's a regular windshield cover. I'm guessing, I haven't tried it out for sure yet, but I'm guessing that's going to insulate it pretty well against the heat or the cold. Way better material than using just Netflix or Reflectix alone. So I'm going to try that out anyway and see as my funding becomes available. Now, that's the last subject I want to talk about in this video, is the funding. I got down to pretty close to Texarkana, and I'll be able to get there on the gas that I have now and everything, but from a $700 paycheck, I'm down to $400. It cost me about $300 to get here. Well, $100 of that was spent waiting on my other check. That 10 days in Rapid City while I waited on my paycheck to get there, that $100 was spent ahead of time. So it took me $200 to get, in food and gas and everything, to get down to Texarkana, which would be in Arkansas, 6 or 7 states away. But I kind of took a little bit longer route and went across South Dakota and then straight down on the interstates instead of using a hell of a lot of back roads. Because I don't mind taking back roads every now and then, but I didn't want to drive 4 or 5 days straight up back roads to get here. I mean, it was 3 days worth now, just in the time to get here. I've been averaging 400 miles a day, and I do pretty okay with 400 miles. I could probably do up to 700 miles a day if I had to, but when I go in, hopefully go into expediting, let's just say I don't know if I'd want to do 400 miles a day every single day of the week. I mean, dead end with nothing else, you know. I mean, so hopefully, but at the same time, I don't need that kind of funds where you have to be expediting every single day of the week. I mean, obviously, you have to do it kind of like day labor, where you have to work when they want you to work, because otherwise, you may be wanting to be able to go to work, so you can get the funds later on in the next week, and the next week might be slow, so you kind of have to go with the flow, so to speak. But and you can refuse the occasional load or whatever, but you don't want to do that too often. But at the same time, you've got to do it enough to make sure that load will pay you enough to make it worth your time. But just taking the last 3 days worth of averaging 400 miles a day, that was okay. I could see 700 miles in one shot, or like 1,200 miles in one shot. I could do that on occasion, but not every day. I mean, 400 miles, you figure, just to make it easier on the math, 400 miles, and you just double the miles by the hours. So I would say it would take 8 hours to do 400 miles. It normally wouldn't. It would take about 6, but then you got to, you have to count in for construction or rush hour traffic that you get into, or you're taking longer on the brakes if you needed to, or whatever. You got to leave yourself a little bit of window. So you figure that would be an 8-hour day at 400 miles. Not quite. It'd be more like a 6-hour day, but just in case you have layover time, extra time just in case. And then I could see myself doing that. 400 miles a day I could maybe do every single day of the week. And I'm sure it takes some getting used to behind the car, behind the steering wheel. That consistently would take some getting used to, I'm sure. But I think I could do it. I mean, I love to drive and drive and drive, so that part isn't the problem. It's just putting up with the traffic and the construction, or taking back roads, or listening to the GPS or whatever. It starts to get old, especially the bugs on the windshield. I've had to wash the windshield, I don't know, 4 or 5 different times just in the time it took to get down here. 1,200 miles worth to get down here. I've had to scrub off the windshield, and I washed the car once too. It got so bad when it went through the bugs. But I suppose I got a little taste of what I'd be getting into if I work it. And then, speaking of that, today is Sunday, tomorrow is Monday. I'm going to call Panther and Load Run and Bolt Express and some of the bigger companies up and see if one of them will do their actual research on their side and make sure that I qualify for to be commercially insured. And I have questions to ask about that too, because I don't have a CDL anymore. I used to until I went to that harvesting. Before I went to the harvesting job, I had Class C CDL, and that's where you've seen the video that I have up about getting that Class C CDL is from. And then later on, like a year later, I went to that combine harvester's job and got a Class A CDL permit, but didn't get to drive the truck for the test to get the Class A CDL. Well, in that whole thing, I lost my Class C CDL too. So, but there are some expediting companies that don't care if you have that weight restriction CDL or not, through mom and pop companies, and I'm gonna apply to, and try to talk to everybody that's on the classified ads list for expeditors online, now that I'm decently in the coverage area. I chose Texarkana, Arkansas, Arkansas and Texas, for that reason, because it's Laredo, Texas is roughly 300, a little bit over 300 miles away that direction, and Nashville, Tennessee is 300 miles northeast. So right where I'm at is kind of the halfway point, or will be. I still have to go 100 more miles, I think, to get there, south to get there, but then once I get there, it'll be in the halfway point to start out this week with, and then see where I go from there. Because I didn't want to get all the way to, like, say, Tennessee, and then have the option from Bolt Express come out of Laredo, and say you have to go to Texas to pick up a van or something, and then have to spend all that fun to get back. And plus, I wanted to scratch off at least another state off my bucket list that I haven't driven through. I've been on a bus through Arkansas before, on the way to Florida a long time ago, but I've never driven through it and taken the time to actually go around and to see stuff and so on. So at least I'm able to scratch Arkansas off the list of a bucket list of a new state to be in, I guess. And I plan on being here for a week or two, and then that's also this plan B. I'm far enough down from the Bible Belt. The bottom of the Bible Belt is like the bottom part of Tennessee when you're looking at a map. It's also kind of the snow belt. And so if you get further south than that, then you don't have to worry about snow in the colder temperatures, and for living in a car or living in a van. That's where I want to be at for the winter time. So you don't have to mess with getting out a sleeping bag or anything. You can have 50-degree nights overnight for 50-degree for the lows. And you don't have to mess with that kind of stuff. And coming into the middle of September here, it's just going to get colder from there. So if plan B, if for some reason something else holds me up from being able to expedite for a mom and pop shop, or mom and pop style fleet owner, or one of the bigger companies or something, if I can't get on with anybody, which if I really put my feelers out there supposedly and talk to everybody and their dog, I should be able to get on with somebody now that my driving record's clear. Wish me luck on that, knock on wood, etc. But if for some reason they can't clear me yet or something, at least I'm down here where I don't have to worry about the snow and the cold. Because I got to thinking the other day, is I could live in Montana, I could live in South Dakota, I could live in Nebraska, I could live anywhere on wheels. I mean, your whole point is that you have a home on wheels, drive to where the conditions are better. Why suffer in a sleeping bag or try to mess with heaters and everything else up north when you can simply drive south? And then once you're down south, I can get a job here just as easily. Hopefully, I can get a job here just as easily as in Montana or South Dakota or anywhere where it's cold, and not have to put up with that. So this video is getting pretty long though. Hopefully I'll have a little bit more content to add this week. If not, you'll just see this video at the end of the week and we'll see. But like and subscribe, leave comments, we'll catch you in the flip. Peace. Apologize for the bugs on the windshield and the dirty view you're getting, but I've washed the windshield off I don't know how many different times today. This is about the middle of Arkansas. I have 217 miles to go to Texarkana. Better get back to driving. Good morning, YouTuber subscribers and friends alike. It's Grant coming at you from Oklahoma. Just on this side of me is the Arkansas state line, going all the way down that tree line pretty much. And I am in Oklahoma, very, very eastern section of Oklahoma, right before the state line, all the way down on this kind of a scenic byway. It's called Telemin Scenic Byway, Bypass Highway thingy for along the Telemin National Park or something. A bunch of hard to pronounce towns like Choctaw, Heavener, Holderidge, or something like that. A bunch of weird ass Oklahoma towns. And then the gas stations, I think it's kind of funny. Poke and Toke gas station. It's like these southern people definitely know how to name their stuff. I see all sorts of weird business names. Can't think of any more at the moment, but this is a nice scenic byway, highway to film, to put in a section of my video clip for this next coming week. So I thought I'd give you some of it. I don't have anything new, really. I'm still 133 miles away from Texarkana, Arkansas, and Texas. Just kind of slowly making my way through it since I've got the time to do it. Doing some sightseeing along the way. Lots and lots and lots of trees, anyway. This highway is really weird. It's turned in from a freeway, like a huge interstate freeway, into this. And it's supposed to go back into an interstate. It's really, really weird the way they set this up, but I suppose because there's this range right between here, they can't do nothing else about it. So Anyway, it's a lot of the same thing. All the way down there and back. That's a nice little rest area to pull off of. For a round. More of the same, so I'm going to get back to drive it. And like and subscribe, leave comments, catch you on the flip. Good morning, YouTuber subscribers and friends alike. It's Grant coming at you from Oklahoma. Just on this side of me is the Arkansas state line, going all the way down that tree line pretty much. And I am in Oklahoma, very, very eastern section of Oklahoma, right before the state line, all the way down on this kind of a scenic byway. It's called Telemin Scenic Byway, Bypass Highway thingy for along the Telemin National Park or something. A bunch of hard to pronounce towns like Choctaw, Heavener, Holderidge, or something like that. A bunch of weird ass Oklahoma towns. And then the gas stations, I think it's kind of funny. Poke gas station. It's like these southern people definitely know how to name their stuff. I see all sorts of weird business names. Can't think of any more at the moment, but this is a nice scenic byway, highway to film, to put in a section of my video clip for this next coming week. So I thought I'd give you some of it. I don't have anything new, really. I'm still 133 miles away from Texarkana, Arkansas, and Texas. Just kind of slowly making my way through since I've got the time to do it. Doing some sightseeing along the way. Lots and lots and lots of trees, anyway. This highway is really weird. It's turned in from a freeway, like a huge interstate freeway, into this. And it's supposed to go back into an interstate. It's really, really weird the way they set this up, but I suppose because there's this range right between here, they can't do nothing else about it. So, anyway, it's a lot of the same thing. All the way down there and back. That's a nice little rest area to pull off of. More of the same, so I'm going to get back to drive it, and like and subscribe, leave comments, catch you on the flip. Apologize for the bugs on the windshield and the dirty view you're getting, but I've washed the windshield off I don't know how many different times today. This is about the middle of Arkansas. I have 217 miles to go to Texarkana.